we've been talking about this so much, but like those collective things that everyone knows during the time. Like I follow like the 90s kid account and everything they post on there, I'm like laughing and I'm like, oh, liking it. Because it's like we went through that. It like
Yeah.
there's one post about like you had a hard day. I don't know if I sent you this. It was like you had a hard day of like homework or like whatever. And then you put this on, and then it's just like the loading screen or the opening screen for Halo
Yeah.
with the sound, and you're like, oh yeah, like it brings you back. You're like,
Mhm.
yeah, we did used to do that. So it's like these, right? These like collective moments that no one will ever forget, and I feel like those are going away.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think that's for today's kids, right? They'll have their own.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Oh, you're right. You think that they'll have their own. Okay. So I was also thinking about this one. I think the new version of that isn't going to be localized to a generation. I think all right, so like for us it's like 90s kids, right? And then you have all those things that you remember that are 90s kids. I think they're going to be timestamps now. Like 2020s. It won't be like remember it won't be like
Oh, you
we're the
mean like
90s
by
kids.
1 year
It'll be like yeah, yeah,
each
yeah.
year?
And
Yeah.
right. And I think everyone's going to all follow the exact same thing. We'll all remember the thing that happened that year, like COVID,
Mm-hmm.
right? For example, it's like, where were you during COVID? Because we're becoming so global and like there's so
Yeah.
many mediums now that people can take part of. I don't think we're going to have like 90s kid jokes anymore. It'll just be like time period
Sure.
jokes,
Yeah. I think that makes more sense. Yeah.
right? I guess technically,
That's just because we're not
like what I'm
watching TV all at the same time, right? We don't do that anymore.
right, right. But there are like collective things that everyone engages in a yearly basis.
Mm-hmm.
Like it, so like with the 90s kid thing, it's like that was localized to people who grew up in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like you had to have grown up in the 90s, right? But I think now it's like with Wednesday, One Piece, and the other one, Stranger Things, time periods.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you remember when Stranger Things took off? Remember when Wednesday took off?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when One Piece took off?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I think everyone will remember that, like regardless of age.
Mm-hmm.
Like we'll all remember like the Wednesday era,
Sure.
the Barbie
Yeah.
era. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think we're so global now as like a species because of the internet.
Yeah.
We can all watch it and stuff.